Hey, what's up, guys? I finally got some tires for this thing. These are the 120 9010s, and I was thinking that you absolutely had to raise the fender, but apparently you don't. I might end up doing it anyway because when I go over gravel, sometimes it'll get picked up and you can hear it kicking up under there. Now, when this bike came, I couldn't find the wheel bushings, so I made some out of aluminum and just stuck them in there. So I sized them by the ones in the back, I think. I can't remember how I did it, but anyway, one of these bolt heads rubbed on the side of here, so all I did was take out the washers that were in there and no more rubbing. I don't know if it would rub with the factory bushings in there or not. To raise the fender, I was wondering what I was going to do as far as, putting some kind of a bushing between here and here. And now that I've got a 3D printer and can do a little bit of designing, I went ahead and made a bushing that fits the top profile perfectly in case I ever get around to doing that. I've wanted a brighter headlight, but didn't really, I kind of like the look of this. Didn't really want to, slap something on there that looks like it just, I stole it off of a spaceship. Nothing wrong with that, just kind of like the old school look. I found an LED bulb for this, and I don't have it yet. It's in the mail, but I'll pop back on here, show you what that looks like when it comes. This whole time I've wanted some kind of a bigger luggage rack, so put one of these drink crates on there with this little cargo net. Got the cargo net in a 2-pack off of Scamazon. It was pretty cheap. And then I got to looking around in size, and I was like, man, I'd like to have like some kind of tool bag or something like that. And I found this, and yeah, it's a perfect fit. This drink crate will also fit a Playmate cooler pretty nicely. So the way I did it was, you can see where I cut it out there. I saw somebody else did this with a milk crate. I figured since I've got this crate, I'll go ahead and do it with this one. And this underneath here is a big sheet of rubber, or not rubber, but like oh, what do you call this stuff? You make O-rings out of butyl, something like that. And these are some pins. I'm not sure what they're called, but they're the kind of pins that have, that kind of pin. And this is just a piece of an old cutting board I had laying around. So pull those pins, and that pops off. One of the things that drove me absolutely nuts was the fact that there wasn't any kind of a bushing in here. And when you tighten this bolt down, it would just grind on that. It would be popping off your chrome, just nasty. And then you could never get it centered, so I went ahead and made some bushings to go in there. So now that's centered on there. And probably not the best idea, but it's all I had. Got a bronze washer between here and here, so hopefully it won't corrode like those two metals do when they're together like so. But anyway, the last thing that I did was I wanted some power on here, so I designed and printed this box, and we've got a USB outlet, and then it's got a little voltmeter on it. There's a switch for it right here on the side, but I've wired a switch in the back. And then this is just a standard 12-volt outlet. So we'll pop that open and I'll show you how all that's wired. And the reason I have the switch back here is because that display, even when it's off like this, it'll draw some bit of juice and eventually run your battery down, you know, if it's not off. So I went ahead and put a switch in there. Now the switch is a little bit overkill, maybe, because what I've got here is this one right here, this connector, this end of it goes directly to the battery, and that's for a trickle charger. So I'm obviously not going to have this plugged up when I've got it on the trickle charger. I just unplug this and plug my trickle charger in. To get this right, I had to reverse the polarity when we jumped over here to get into this box. Yeah, I might put these on eBay, just the box only, and let you put whatever plugs you want in it. Let's see, there's also wanted a spare reserve gas tank, and there it is. That was an eBay purchase. It was about $100, but if you try to find some, and it was made specifically for this application, if you try to find something similar without like the proper mounting brackets and everything, it's like 120. I think I gave like 105 for this, and it's solid. It's a real deal. The way I've got it hooked up, connected, is on the bottom of the tank. I just did away with the which one was it? Did away with the main line, and so I'm running the reserve line, the one that's lowest in the tank, to the carburetor, and no, to the petcock, to where the reserve line is, no, to where the main line's supposed to go. So the reserve on the tank to where the main line's supposed to go, and then the reserve tank to where the reserve goes on that. And if you do this the first time, you're probably gonna have to prime it, and because you're gonna have some air in here, just something to keep in mind. It's easy to prime. What you do is you just take this off and blow into it. Just might want to look around and make sure nobody's watching you. But yeah, that gets all the air out of the line. Yeah, speaking of eBay, those rounds for the FSC, I put an ad on eBay for those. I'll leave a link to that ad down below in case anybody's interested in those. But yeah, other than that, I've just been enjoying the Mickey Mouse Mobile. I'll see y'all later.